National liberation struggles are very complex phenomena having multi-dimensional issues and problems. Success of any national resistance movement is dependent upon many factors, including response of masses, robust leadership, political and resistance institutions, and formulation of feasible strategies. The Baluch resistance in Iran and Pakistan is the expression of their will for regaining their national honor and sovereignty. As the national struggle is entering a very crucial and critical phase, the Baluch nationalist leadership and political groups are increasingly under pressure from different quarters to forge unity on a common minimum program of national salvation. I would like to briefly deliberate on the question of a united front of the Baluch nationalists in the context of national liberation struggle. The Baluch firmly believe that their identity as a nation is more at peril than ever before. During the long and dark period of occupation, they have suffered more than just national humiliation in the hands of occupying powers. Many of the nationalist intellectuals and political analysts believe that for the Baluch, it is the situation of now or never. It is because their language is at the verge of being extinct. It is because their cultural traditions are being replaced by alien cultural values, and religious fundamentalism is being literally introduced in their secular society by states controlling Balochistan. And it is because they are living below the poverty line, despite the fact that their land is one of the richest in the world. The Baluch masses for decades have been resisting the forces of occupation and subjugation with their blood and sweat. From the time alien rule was imposed on the Baluch people, there has been, historically speaking, unbroken resistance to the domination. But why, despite enormous sacrifices by the leadership and masses, the cherished goal of gaining dignity and sovereignty is still elusive? This is the question of foremost importance because in present circumstances, it is causing much disillusionment in the nationalist circles. Finding a reasonable answer to this question is important for streamlining the national resistance against the enemy in a meaningful way. During 19th and 20th century, in Asia and Africa, national liberation struggles have been successful when certain conditions were fulfilled. Number one, willingness on the part of the oppressed people to resist the oppressor. Number two, existence of a political leadership capable of gaining the allegiance of the people. Number three, existence of favorable conditions for gaining international support for resistance. Number four, existence of an organization or political institution capable of streamlining various aspects of national resistance. Let us see whether the Baluch national resistance fulfills these conditions in order to be successful. Regarding the support for the cause, there is no doubt that the Baluch masses have been and are prepared to confront the enemy. The history of the Baluch national struggle has witnessed that they are prepared to give unlimited sacrifices in the struggle for regaining their dignity and sovereignty. Regarding the leadership, the Baluch are fortunate that they not only have the privilege and advantage of having the old guards are the towering personalities of the Baloch national struggle still alive and active. But there also is in existence a second level of leadership capable of gaining the organized allegiance of the people. Together, these two tiers of the Baloch leadership have both the experience and the ability to carry out the painstaking process of planning, preparation, and overall conduct of national resistance. Favorable objective conditions and international and regional polity for the Baloch cause have already been created by default because of the erroneous policies of the states which control the Baloch land. Iran and Pakistan are economically and socially at the brink. Politically, they are isolated from the international community because of towing the policies of exporting terrorism and religious fundamentalism. The new and apparently the final phase of the Baloch national struggle is taking place in the context of a new international political milieu in which religious, fundamentalist and rogue states are increasingly under pressure from the world community. The question, which might be puzzling for many of us and for many of the observers of the Baloch national resistance, is that despite willingness of masses for enormous sacrifices, presence of a respectable and trustworthy leadership, and existence of favorable international conditions, why the Baloch national resistance is unable to produce desired results. The fact of the matter is that this question is haunting the political activists affiliated with different nationalist parties and groups for a long time. They have been questioning each other that in a protracted struggle, how should the common enemy be confronted and who should mount the charge? Are various small Baloch political organizations, groups and individuals in a position to lead the nation to its cherished dream of national liberation? To me, finding answers to all these burning questions should be sought by the leadership, intellectuals and political activists, keeping into mind contextual factors which determine the course of every national resistance movement. National liberation struggle is neither static nor does it take place in a vacuum. The Baloch leadership must deepen this understanding that the final victory rests not on the wish or the dream, but on the understanding of the prevailing conditions and the historical processes.